Common Sense, Act 10. Lack of character wins elections. You wonder why I'm clapping, don't you? I'm clapping to congratulate the Republicans who did absolutely nothing, accepted no responsibility for where we are, said no on everything, stonewalled and blocked all the legislation of our president who tried to help the common man, and won their seats in the process. In the midst of a society, let me take these off. In the midst of a society that has a church on every corner, it seems that we have no character at all in our White House, in our Senate, in our House of Republicans. Because anytime a man destroys an economy up under a president such as Bush and accepts no responsibility for the legislation that's passed, but reap the benefits anyway by saying no, it is fascinating to me to see that occur. Basically, we shouldn't be playing any drums, any horns, or anything. We should be playing taps. We should be playing taps because this marks the beginning of the end of America as we know it. Anytime you can take picket sign carriers who shout hateful rhetoric, spit on congressmen, curse people out on the floor of the Senate, and continue to win their seats, it is something wrong with America. America, understand this. The whole world is watching, and because the whole world is watching, you have just ruined foreign policy for yourself for the rest of your life. Now, come on in office and lead. That's what I want you to do. Because this time, you're not going to be able to use anybody as an excuse, including our president. Because first of all, for 10 years of destroying the economy, you morons who are out there voting for these yahoos expected a president to clean up a country in 2 years, that it took 10 years of systematic policies aimed at helping rich people continue to move forward while poor people, the middle class, lost their houses, lost their jobs, lost their incomes, and literally lost their way of life, to sit here on their hands and knees begging for people to help them, and you continue to say no on no, no, no. That's all we heard was no for an entire year. But for some reason, these morons put your ass in office. Now, let's talk about the Tea Party for a minute, who are carrying picket signs, while places like AIG, BP, the Ku Klux Klan are funding them. Now, what kind of country are we living in right now? Explain that to me, because I don't understand. You will have to pardon my righteous indignation. But I am just sitting here wondering, how in the world can someone claim to be a Christian nation and spew hate like they're spewing and continue to try to destroy our president and our government at the same time, but claim they're patriotic? That is bullshit. That's exactly what it is. I said it. Yes, I did. It is bull. And it is the most craziest thing I ever seen in my life. But you go along with it on a daily basis and you vote for it. You know why you vote for it? Because you put race over the lives of Americans. Because you're that sick. Most of you who voted for these yahoos are sick. You have a sickness, you need to go see a psychiatrist, and you need to wonder why you hate people of color so badly. You have to wonder why you hate people of color who are in positions of authority so badly. That is why these yahoos have gotten in office. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something very clear. And listen to me, America. Understand this. Republicans will have no excuse whatsoever at this point in time, because they got what they shot for was these positions and these seats that they are now sitting in. I want to see if they can govern. I want to see them put their ability where their mouth is. You want to say no on everything? Now you want people to work with you, right? I want to see how that works, okay? I want to see how that works. I want to see if we say no, if you're going to have a problem then. Because you sure as hell said no of everything that our president proposed. But you, on the other hand, want to sit up here and have the audacity to say he hasn't accomplished anything since he's been in office. I just about had enough of your bullshit. You and these Republican KKK teabaggers, you can go take those signs and shove them up your butts. And if America is so bad, why don't you leave this country and go move somewhere else? Why don't you do that? Because for you sitting here talking about you want your country back, first of all, let me give you a history lesson. The Indians occupied America before you got here. You built America on the backs of blacks, okay? Pimping them, using them as cheap labor like you do now with the immigrants, and then turn around and try to claim this as your country. Why don't you do some work for a change? Why don't you do some work for yourself? How about that? The first thing you could do is pass legislation that's going to help all people. Let me explain something to you people who put him in office. Look tomorrow or in the next year and see if your situation is any better than it is right now. I can guarantee you this. You're going to be foreclosed on just like now. You're not going to have a job just like now. You're not going to have a house to live in just like now. You may not even have a way of life just like now by putting the Republicans in office. Stay tuned because I am going to be the one to say I told you so. I am not the one who tries to counsel you out of it. No, I'm going to hold their foot to the fire. And every time you look around, I'm going to be on YouTube talking about this because that is exactly what you did with our president, with the bigot Rush Limbaugh, who has a high school diploma, who makes millions of dollars a year, with Sean Beck, who has a high school diploma, no journalism degree, that can make all this money by spewing hate, with Glenn Beck, Bill O'Reilly, who is the only one who has a journalism degree. And let's not forget about your master of ceremonies, Mr. Personality himself, who sits here on his butt, Sean Hannity, and talks about people all the time with a high school diploma as well. So now you have all of these people who are uneducated that are continually leading you around by your nose. Why don't you do me a favor? Don't go to college. Be as moronic as they are. And then, only then, will I take you seriously. Because until someone stands up and says, I might be a part of this mess, then you are not a part of this solution. This is Clifford Sanders signing off, saying good luck to you in these next coming years since you put these morons in office. Good luck and good night.